My name is Ifeyemi Andrew, and now we get into our conversation for this morning on the Morning Crossfire. It's quite a lot to look at, but we're just going to follow on with the updates on what the situation is regards to the political crisis or imbroglio in Rivers State. If you had followed the news, then you must have heard that most of the chairmen of caretaker committees for various government areas have began work in Obiakpo. You saw Chijoke Hunwo going to motor parks and issuing out statements, visiting the palace of Dinye Weli, Oginigba, and so on and so forth, trying to address concerns of that people doing business in that council might be facing, and dissolving of committees from past the outgone administration, etc., etc. If you go to a CHIE or a query council, you also have heard from the caretaker chairman there in the person of Darlington Orji, who is also special advisor to the River State government on political matters, talking about how he's looking at working with everybody and bringing everybody on board. It's not different in a cheer as well. The caretaker chairman also talking about how his committee members should work with integrity and the renovation of Okomoko Town Hall. I mean, but while all of this is happening, we still have to bear in mind that yesterday we saw one of the former local government chairmen for Emoha Council, to be precise, the immediate past chairman, Chidi Lloyd, who was welcoming the efforts of the police to, ensure that properties are safe, and sitting up council and waiting until the court, gives its judgment on the matters that are before it. And saying if any other person is allowed to go into the council, then they would have to visit the council then. We saw pictures of that all over social media, and we had it on the news as well. But in the middle of all of this, I think one thing is very common. All of these past chairmen, current caretaker chairmen, and everybody involved in what's happening in the politics of Rivers State at the moment are from the PDP. They are from the PDP, which now brings me to my next question. The national leadership of the party and what efforts they are putting in place, or how they intend to address this issue. Have there been any conversations about it? We're supposed to speak with Ikenga Ugochinyere, the lawmaker, national lawmaker for the House of Representatives. We're still trying to establish contact with him, unfortunately, but we're not able to do that. He was supposed to join us this morning. Perhaps some of the issues might be taking his attention, but we'll continue trying, even though with the service providers it's proven to be a bit difficult. But what is the PDP? There are those, including the lawmaker, who had put out various videos criticizing how the leadership of the PDP at the national level is compromised and not doing enough to tackle the issues politically that we're facing here in Rivers State. And I mean, if you had followed the trend, you must have heard members of the PDP disagree on how the leadership structure is at the moment, looking at the fact that the current chairman of the party is supposed to, step aside for the constitutional provisions of the zone in the party that's supposed to produce a chairman to do so. And there are talks of different court injunctions and orders that was going to ensure that the current chairman continues as chairman, and all of those back and forth. After they had that convention, the PDP, August was the agreed month where they were going to revisit this matter. Well, whether that would work out as planned or as agreed upon, we wouldn't know until we get to August. But in the meantime, one would expect that with what we have in Rivers State politically within the PDP as a party, you should look at the importance of the state, and the fact that the PDP isn't holding too many states as it used to. And in the south, Rivers State is one that's of very utmost importance. Why we haven't seen some many would want to describe it as a state of emergency within the party to come in and address these issues and call all of these gentlemen together and put things in order. That seemed not to be the case. Now, you can only help but wonder why. If you go on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH, there are posts up there that would want you to respond to. By the way, we're streaming live, so you can join us, and would like to get your thoughts on some of these issues. The national leadership of the party, are they doing what, in your opinion? Are you satisfied so far? We also had the issue of the lawmakers who defected to the APC, and there were talks of them wanting to come back to the PDP, and we had judgments that many people did not agree with and found the various flaws with. Even at that point, I remember the lawmaker, Ugochinyere, also had coming up with documents to show that this was what's within the PDP is being planned, and he wouldn't understand why this is happening in the manner that it is, even though an official statement that had come from the spokesperson of the party had said, well, these people are not members of the party. They have moved to the APC and will want their seats to be declared vacant. So it brings us back to this situation where we are now. Do we know enough to even give an opinion about what the political situation is at the moment in Rivers State? Because it feels as though we're not being given enough information about this. And it almost looks as though there are those who even make the argument that, the president is perhaps quietly behind the scenes watching what's happening, an effort to take charge of Rivers State, and perhaps this imbroglio, political crisis that we're seeing at the moment would be the best opportunity to do that. Various people, various opinion, but it still does not take away the leadership of the PDP, not just in Rivers State, but now at the national level, because clearly in the Rivers State there is a huge divide, which started with who the leader of the party is. Even though the party had a system and the governor is the leader, there are those who believe that the FCT minister would remain their leader and they remain loyal to him. We've had that conversation for quite a while, and many believe that that was the point where the national leadership would have come in to address the issue, but that did not happen. And there are those who also feel that perhaps the FCT minister, with his relationship with the national leadership of the party, could also be behind this. And despite calls that, the FCT minister had been involved in anti-party activities and had even made comments publicly saying this is who he's going to support in the next election, which, I mean, would not say well for a party member, especially when you belong to an opposition party at the national level. All of these things have brought about calls for suspension, but that as well we have not seen or we do not see. So what really is the situation? Why are we at the level that we're in at the moment? We'll try to get in touch with my guest and hear from him. I'm sure there's a lot that he has to say about what is happening. All right, we have him now on the phone. Honorable, good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, thank you for joining us. We've been trying to lay hands on you. I think you've been really occupied, so it's been very difficult doing that. We have a very short commercial coming in about 3 minutes, but quickly, I would need you to just respond to one question before that commercial, and that is, what is happening with the national leadership of the PDP? How is it reacting to the situation in Rivers State at the moment with regards to the former council chairman and the battle that we're having that they're having with the state government?
When a man dies with, there's a way our fathers used to say it, that they say you eat with the devil with the long spoon, and my father said don't go to the table of the devil at all, because when you eat with him with a long spoon, either the saliva or something will touch you. The national leadership of our party is highly compromised. They lack the balls to speak up in support of justice, in support of democracy, as it has to do with the Rivers State. Their relationship with the actors in that crisis, especially, compromise them greatly to the extent that relationship cannot allow the national leadership of the party to speak through to power. How can you have members of your party and trying to destabilize your governor and you have not moved hard on them? Rather, you are looking for me to help them to retain legitimacy. leadership of a party that took the list of members of APC and announced them as caretaker committee in Rivers State to further interest party. Even when there was a decision not to touch the issue of Rivers, they went and obtained and enjoyed an ex parte order that we don't even know.
Honorable, I don't know if you can hear us, but we are having issues with the service providers, and that's been the case ever since we've been trying to establish contact. A short commercial is on the way. We'll take that commercial. Hopefully, before we return, we'll be able to have my guest back online because there's a lot more that would need him to respond to. In the meantime, on WhatsApp, the number is 08090306416. Apologies for those perhaps who have been trying to get to us via WhatsApp all through the morning periods. I mean, it was due to issues with service providers that has now been fixed. So you can send your messages on WhatsApp. We'll be taking them. The number again, 0809-030-6416. And also on Facebook, don't forget to drop your comments at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. That is the handle. We'll be continuing this conversation shortly. Our conversation continues on the Morning Crossfire. My name is Ifeemi Andrew, and we would be speaking with my guest, Honorable Ikenga Ugochinyere, a member of the National Assembly, precisely the House of Representatives, will be joining us via phone. Hello, Honorable. Good
morning. Good morning.
All right. We had several commercials, and we don't have a lot of time now, so we'll just quickly cut to the chase. And get on with it. So yes, before we got rudely interrupted earlier, I was asking for your opinion, because many of us here are confused and wondering why we haven't seen the national leadership of your party intervene in a matter in Rivers State that has to do with all PDP members. What exactly is behind that? Why?
I said the national chairman, instead of working for the interests of PDP, instead of working for the interests of People's Democratic Party in Rivers, instead of working for the interests of Rivers people who support PDP, that the national chairman of our party, Omar Damago, is working for the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, who is working for APC. So you can say our national chairman is in bed with APC and those working for APC, as it has to do with interests of the party in Rivers. And that is why it's so painful and condemnable. And that is why people like us, both me as Ikenga, Ugochinyere, and other lawmakers have taken it upon ourselves as opposition lawmakers to say no to this kind of aberration. Because the former local government chairman, even when their tenure was illegally extended, the party leadership refused to condemn it because the beneficiary of that would be followers of Nyesom Wike. They refused. And that's why we stood up against it. That is a democratic coup. That is illegal, is unknown to our law. You cannot extend the goalposts in the middle of the game. You can extend the tenure of local government chairman who Rivers people elected for a tenure of 3 years. Few weeks to the expiration of the tenure, you come out from a 2-bedroom in Emoha and call yourself a House of Assembly, even when your seats have been declared vacant, and then you say you have given them tenure extension. It means that we federal lawmakers can wake up one morning and say, we're giving tenure extension to the president. Will anybody like it in Nigeria? Or wake up one morning and say, we're giving tenure extension to a governor. Will anybody allow that? So why are you doing it with local government? Just to satisfy the interests of one man. So that thing was unheard of in any democratic setting. And that is why I was so happy that people of Rivers State stood up against that illegal tenure extension. And more importantly, there was even no extension in the sense that the so-called law that the SAC lawmakers made said that upon a resolution, they can extend the tenure. There was even no resolution in the first place. And secondly, they said that if the governor refuses to swear them in for the extended tenure, that any magistrate can do that based on a resolution of a House of Assembly. There is no House of Assembly led by Martin Amewula. He has been sacked. He's not a speaker of any House of Assembly. Neither did any House of Assembly pass such a resolution. So there was no swearing in. So their tenure expired and they left on that June 17.
How would you respond
so they left. So there was no resolution to extend it. Neither was there any swearing in. So they have completed their tenure and they have left. Even whatever is the judgment of the appeal court cannot bring them back because they have already left. The judgment will be focusing on extending the tenure, but the tenure have naturally expired. So now that the tenure have naturally expired, are you going to move a resolution for a tenure and say they should come back and continue in office? No, that thing was supposed to happen uninterrupted. Now it has been interrupted by a fusion of time, by the expiration of their tenure. So they are gone and they are gone for good.
All right, quickly then. I'm sure you're aware, you mentioned the outgone council chairman. Yesterday, the former council chairman for MOI held a peaceful demonstration to the council secretariat. We have security operatives, not just in MOI council, across the other councils, secretariats in Rivers State. There are those who are saying that, well, the police should vacate the council secretariat so that workers can go in and resume their lawful duties. How would you describe the activity of the police and the order of the Inspector General of Police to his men regards this issue?
You should know completely that I will condemn what the police is doing as it has to do with Rivers 100%. Well, are you occupying the local government headquarters? Is there any threat in Rivers? You are calling me from Rivers now. Is there any threat on the street of Port Harcourt and Rivers that will affect the workings of the local government? That some group of people, their tenure have expired?
and they are finding it difficult to accept the fact that our former local government chairman. Is that why we should go under the bed and lock the councils? The police is behaving as if to say they are looking at the face of the FCT minister by that action. And I will advise the police not to repeat this kind of situation. Remember, we have once had it when Amechi was leaving office, when we have one commissioner of police there, Joseph Umbo or somebody, who was so reckless in his activities then, and that nearly brought Rivers to a point of heavy civil crisis. We should let the police not get involved. Open the council. The workers have told you, open the council, let us go to work. There are caretaker committee chairmen that have been sworn in. They need to go to work. Argon have warned you to open the council. Workers have told you, open the council. Everybody have told you, open the council. The governor have told you, open the council. Whose interest is the police representing in Rivers on this matter? The essence of police is to maintain law and order. There's no threat to law and order now. That some people, their tenure expired, and they're finding it difficult to sink it in that they are former local government chairman. Is that why we should go under the bed and lock the council? It's just like those governors who were expecting to benefit from our passengers' third term. After the third term project failed, they will be going on the street protesting that we need to stay in office because our tenure need to be extended. We should not be condoning spoiled politicians. We should not be condoning their activities. Rather, we should be condemning it. So my position and the position of the 60 federal lawmakers is that the police is tilting towards the kind of police force we had in the 60s and in the 83 that joined federal politicians and nearly threw Nigeria into a state of anarchy that led to constitutional crisis of the 60s and the 80s. And we don't want that to happen. Nigeria is already sitting at a tipping point. There's economic hardship, creating crisis or encouraging people who are creating crisis in Rivers and in Kano can have dire consequences for our democracy, and that is what we don't want to happen.
Yeah, in Rivers State, in addition to this, we have the caretaker chairman of the APC, Chief Tony Okocha, who is also a representative of Rivers State on the NDDC board, saying a state of emergency should something that's calling for in Rivers State. And even to add to that, I mean, there are talks that, well, the government is not doing enough with regards to development, etc., etc. What would you say about the call for that state of emergency? Is it something that you would look at as being political, or you think that, well, they're entitled to their opinion?
You don't call for emergency rule in the middle of Onitsha market. The comment is coming from people who operate from Onitsha main market. The point is very simple. Which APC care? He's not the APC caretaker. You know who put him. He is the one doing the biddings of the people in Abuja. He's not a leader of APC, a genuine member of APC. The genuine members of APC are known. He is a product of a reward to somebody in Abuja. Those factions rewarded him. So if we're talking about the emergency, who needs emergency, Rivers or Nigeria? Rivers doesn't need an emergency. It's Nigeria that needs an emergency. Almost over 20-something states are under the attacks and activities of kidnappers and bandits and different elements that have made life difficult for our people. The economy is in difficult situation. Revenue is dropping. There is a lot of challenges. There is violent, activities left, right, and center. The nation state is facing a difficult time, and their government is trying to stabilize this. So, who needs emergency? Rivers, where there is transformational activities, where there is Trans-Calabari Highway, where there is Port Harcourt Rim project going on, where there is specialist hospitals springing up in Obi Akpado. Who needs emergency? There is no, that emergency conversation is what people who are selling things in the middle of on the Chairman market should be discussing. There is no basis for that. It's not backed by any security report. It's not backed by any situation on ground that warrants that you want to hijack the resources and government of River State and you're finding it difficult. Should emergency be declared? So we should declare an emergency to allow such people to go into the coffers of River State. So that emergency can only be in their imagination. There's no basis, and it cannot even happen in the next world.
What about those who said that the government,
because you don't wake up and declare an emergency?
What about those who said the government shouldn't have nominated caretaker council chairman or caretaker committee?
When in moments where people have tried to make governance will to be interrupted, in moments where people wake up in the morning and say we must destabilize government, created confusion, instigated litigation left, right, and center, and then once to benefit from it by their tenure expired and they will remain in office, there's no way they can remain in office. And are we going to leave government open in Rivers State because they have created that confusion? No. You put something that can hold forth and do election. And as you can see, the governor of Rivers is a Democrat. Going by the way he has even tolerated them. Every governor that comes to office, whenever there's an issue, dissolves all of them. But Governor Fubara allowed these guys to complete their 3 years tenure, despite the insult and harassment. He did not care. He allowed them to complete. And then after completion, they wanted to now stay in office. What do you do in a situation whereby some group of people have decided to make life unbearable for Rivers people in pursuit of their interests of seizing Rivers allocation? So the most important thing here is that, is the governor heading for an election? Yes. That shows you that he doesn't want unelected officials managing those councils. These are the people who created all the confusion, created confusion around the budget, created confusion around the appointment, made that state, had an issue some few months ago before the governor was able to stabilize it. So now the state electoral commission, I watch them. They say they are having stakeholders in the next few days to draw out and announce the timetable for the election. That is something that is very, 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 very impressive by the state electoral commission that are going to conduct the election in a matter of few weeks. So let us just give him the benefit of the doubt. We strongly believe that he's a Democrat and will continue to be a Democrat, and that election we hold. Right. It's a state of it was a state that was fostered on the people of Rivers State by these desperate people who wanted to seize Rivers at all costs.
There's still a lot to talk about, but time not on our hands. I'll just take a few messages on Facebook, and then we open the phone lines and take a few calls from the listener. This one says, good morning. I commend Honorable Ugochinyere for speaking the truth. I think he has said well. Bright John says, I'm not seeing anything done by the PDP for the situation in Rivers. Rather, both present and past governors of our state are busy building flyovers everywhere. One thing you should know is we all need a young blood that does things differently. Thank God Ability says, it's unfortunate that since the crisis started in the state, the PDP national chairman has not issued any statement regarding the threat to impeach the governor, or even come to Rivers State to have a one-on-one talk with the governor on the way forward. August is just around the corner. And that's what our next question would be shortly. The situation with the national leadership, we know that after the convention, August was the month where we're supposed to have this decided. I don't know if the party is still going to go through with that. Perhaps you would give us that information. But first, let's hear what this caller has to say. 0817-923-0002 or 0817-923-0003. Any of these numbers, and you can join us live in the studio. What is happening in the PDP is indeed a sad one, especially in Rivers State, a situation where the leadership of the party at the national has been compromised by the ambition of one man. D. Briggs sent this one in from Port Harcourt. Okay, quickly, Cookie Gam from Rumolumeni, straight to the point. Let's hear what your contribution is. Keep it very short and simple. Good morning. Go ahead.
And I want to greet Ugochinyere. Good morning, sir. You are the man of the people for Nigeria in this 21st century. We are dogged to stand for the truth and for equity and for justice. We are praying for you in Rivers State that God should keep and bless you. We want to have you as sort of men in Rivers State that will mount our fear, not our politicians that carry portfolio and goes from to and fro. You are a man of intelligence. I want to say I can pray for him to come to Rivers State to live. Having said so, Andrew, Rivers State is moving on. Listen to what your guest is saying today. He's just saying the planted truth. That's not about missing word. What's the meaning of the truth? My attendance are expired, and there's no flowing. You want to talk about this? Where will they talk about? Do they plan to say so? Let them prefer. Election is coming between now and December. Let them plan and go and record the election. If they win, they go to cancel the game. Andrew, good morning.
All right, thank you. JJ from Rumigbo, good morning.
Yeah, Andrew, good morning.
All right, go on.
Good morning to your guest.
Go on, JJ.
I think I really appreciate what you're doing, even though some naysayers are saying you are interfering. But you're a Nigerian, and I must say you have to save your party at all costs. My question is, the other states that we have caretaker as chairman right now managing the local government, does anybody or have anybody called for a state of emergency in those states right now? Can we also say it is good to call for a state of emergency on the NDDC? Because after all, the forensic report that they did, we have not seen it, and we are not seeing anything they are doing with so much money that has come to them, can we call for a state of emergency on the NDDC too? Thank you.
All right, JJ, thank you. Good news in Mile 3. Good morning. Quickly, let's hear your good news.
Good morning, my brother.
Go on.
And Honorable, thank you very much for the interest you have in River State. I'm aware that similar thing is going on in Imo State, where the governor is trying to make sure he coordinates local government elections in Imo State. I don't know how far through it is, but your interest has made River State, the people want to pressurize and oppress River State as it is, because you are coming from an extraordinary angle and as a member of the National Assembly. Thank you very much, sir. My brother, it's very clear. They want election. The governor has set up plans for election. Stakeholders have been invited by the Justice Enebele for election. What is the problem again? They should all think on how to go and canvass for their vote and contest the election instead of doing what they are doing. And for the police, it is imperative that we make it clear that CPDC is not behaving well. If people start off as a spare, why will you go and protect them? I tell them CPDC, if those persons was the people of Sefubara during that protest, who could have shot tear gas out of any of them and said they were disobeying his laws. Is it bigger than the court? My name is Goody from Port Harcourt.
All right, good news. Let's take one more. Justice from Egbelu, and then we come back to my guest. Quickly, Justice, let's hear you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Andrew. And I want to say first, Honorable Ugochinyere is a voice of truth, and his voice is loud, and we're hearing it. There's a saying that when the trees are being cut down, the monkeys stand by and laugh, not knowing that their home is being destroyed. Any patriotic son of River State would not call for state of emergency. So we should imagine what kind of leadership we have had in the past years. And empty vessels make loud noise. They are only crying because they are losing, and they will continue crying because River State will continue winning. River State should remain resolute and follow the right thing. Sim is a governor, and he will do his tenure well.
All right, Justice, thank you very much. Honorable, you heard most of the caller, Honorable Ugochinyere.
Yes.
I would like you to react to them. How you're doing that. Also, let us know what the situation with the PDP leadership is with regards to the chairmanship position. August is just around the corner. Is it going to be as agreed upon during the convention, or is there any twist or changes that we need to know about?
No, first I will comment the caller, because what they have said, most of them have also expressed the mood and desire of Rivers people, because these callers are the people who are living right now in Rivers, and they know as they look through their window now that there's no atmosphere that calls for an emergency rule. There's no atmosphere that calls for people whose tenure have to continue to be in office. So as a matter of fact, it's an aberration. So I appreciate them, and they should also know that the survival of democracy rests squarely on the ability of the people to stand up at all times. So I love the way they stood up at the beginning. I love the way they partake in this conversation, that if you want to contest, you should go back and be part of the election and contest. That's the only way you can remain in office. If we start extending tenure, one day you wake up, they will extend the tenure of a governor and they will extend the tenure of a president. And I will ask the people who are pushing for this extension, if we at the National Assembly wake up now and say, INEC is not ready to do election in Abuja, we're going to extend the tenure of the president to another 100 years. Would they agree? Everybody will be on the street protesting. So why are you not dissenting? Why are you not supporting it somewhere in River State? And then secondly, coming to the issue of the status now, I can tell you as an insider that things has gone more south now. Things has gone more bad. The agreement and the area arrangement that the leadership will bring in a transition by August so that North Central person can take over the acting chairmanship as required by the PDP constitution. They have breached it already. As I speak to you now, they came up with a letter while we were sleeping and said that because of the Islamic calendar. Now look at the Islamic Salah prayer. Has it not passed? This is the June. But they claim that because of the Islamic holiday, which has passed to, that they are going to extend the process that will lead to the emergence of the national acting chairman to September. And why that is going on, as you are aware, they have secretly obtained an ex parte court order using their followers from Boronu and the state chairman or thereabout that said that Damago cannot leave office pending determination of the suit. And you know the people who are doing this. So the whole plan from day one, they have never wanted to leave it. They just want to have a national chairman who will be working for APC, who will be taking instruction from APC and fighting those APC followers who are in PDP doesn't want to exist. So it's so painful. We're in darkness as I speak to you now. As long as Damago continues to sit on that seat as acting chairman illegally, PDP is still in full darkness. Not just Rivers is affected. Different parts of the country is bearing them. Look at what they're doing in Edo. The same people. Look at what they're doing in Cross River. The same people. Every part of the country, they have renegade people who are in that PDP APC with them, who have a contract to ensure that PDP does not participate in 2027 general presidential election. And it's so painful. And that's why I keep calling on leaders of our party to come together and be courageous and bold enough to sweep up these people off from the heartbeat of our party and put leadership that can help to reform the PDP and present it as a credible opposition party that will help in advancing governance and party politics.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Ugochinyere, for the time. I wish we had enough time to discuss more, but we're already pressed for time. We'll continue to keep in touch.
Sorry, I got up late. That affected my joining time.
All right. We accept that apology. Thank you once again and have a great day.
Yes, welcome.
Well, you heard from the lawmaker, the National Assembly, the House of Representatives, Honorable Ikenga Ugochinyere, and his position with the situation in the PDP. Well, still insisting that, well, this is just a show of one individual working with the ruling party to destabilize the opposition party and in turn use that opportunity to impose their will across different parts of this country where the party occupies office. Well, do you agree with that thought? Let us know on Facebook, Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. You can listen to the conversation all over again and drop your comments. My name is Ifeami Andrew. Afterwards, Jude is coming in for Hello Port Harcourt, so you just want to stick around for that. Don't forget, Ifeami Andrew on every social media platform. Good morning.